the freedom that does not return lost time. Hello, heart-friendly people. All right with you? Here's who keeps an eye on every detail, every tear, and every twist. It's me, your favorite fan and gossip artist on the Mundo Agora channel. Today we are going to tell you everything that happened in the chapter of Cuida this Thursday, July 9th, 2026. Without missing a point, not even the smallest behind-the-scenes details. Let's start where everything started to change. After 6 long years, Adriana, played with such emotion by Letitia Collin, finally won parole. She spent all that time trapped for a crime she did not commit. The death of millionaire Arthur Brandão, lived by Antonio Fagundes. Whoever saw the scene of her leaving the prison almost cried at the same time, right? Her grandfather, Otonio, Tony Ramos, and grandmother Elisa were waiting with tight hugs, and her little brother, Mauricio, our dear Mau Mau from João Victor Gonçalves, couldn't even talk so much that he shook with emotion. But don't worry, it's not just joy. Backstage, the soap opera team said that the recording of this scene took almost 3 hours. Letitia Collin asked to be alone for some time in the prison car before leaving, to really feel the weight of coming back into the world after so long. She said in an exclusive interview that she thought about people who go through injustices like that to bring Adriana's feeling to life. And do you know where it was set up? In the old women's prison in São Paulo, a place with a lot of history. The actors said they felt a strong energy there. Adriana already made it clear in the first minute, "I didn't leave here to forget. I went out to find out who really killed Arthur and pay for everyone who helped me here." And guess who was the first person she saw right on the way out? Pilar Brandão, Arthur's sister, lived by the talented Isabel Teixeira. She was passing by on purpose, with a smile from someone who was planning another mischief, and immediately blurted out, "Welcome back, dear niece," or rather, ex-wife. How angry you are with this woman, right, people? She acts like she owns the truth, but everyone realizes she's hiding something giant. And there are more details. Adriana received an electronic consent bracelet, and she cannot leave the house after 10 p.m., something that will make it very difficult for her to search for clues. Her lawyer warned that any deviation could send her back to jail, but she firmly replied, "I'd rather go back there than live knowing I'm guilty of something I didn't do." Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Pilar set everything up to frame Adriana? Wait a minute. I'll tell you a backstage secret. There's a recording that almost nobody saw, where Pilar talks to someone on the phone and says that the plan worked out and nobody will find out. But who is this person? I'll explain everything in the next part. It doesn't come out of there. Part 2. Title: The Heart Bro Meeting. Welcome back. We continue with everything here in the world now. Let's talk now about the moment that everyone expected, and that left many people with tight hearts. The reunion between Adriana and Pedro. Pedro, played by Chase Wade, was the lawyer who believed in Adriana from the beginning, and the love that prevailed between them was one of the most beautiful things in the soap opera. But in the closing of this chapter, Chase Wade said that he was moved even when it was time to rehearse. But 6 years change everything. The meeting took place at the shelter where Adriana started working as a volunteer. She decided to help people who lost their homes, as she herself lost everything in the flood that started the whole story. They hugged each other tightly. It seemed like time hadn't passed, until Pedro said, "I never gave up proving you're Adriana." She was all happy, until he put his cell phone on a table and someone knocked on the door. It was Bruna, experienced by Fernanda Marques, with a sweet smile and saying, "Love, you forgot the device at home." Then Adriana turned pale, and Pedro had to tell the truth. They got married a year and a half ago. Folks, what a revolt. She spent 6 years struggling not to lose hope, and he went on with life without giving any news? But wait a minute. Backstage, we found out that Pedro had no choice. He received threats against Adriana's life while she was in prison. If he tried contact or got closer, she would suffer further damage. And who made these threats? Just guess. People close to the Brandão family. But who exactly? Calm down, we'll get there. It has more incredible details. The wedding scene of Pedro and Bruna was filmed in a place in the region, and the actors said that when it was time to record the kiss, Chase Wade thought about how funny it would be for Adriana to see that, and Bruna knows nothing about the old love between Pedro and Adriana. She thinks he only defended her cause as a lawyer. This is going to generate a lot of confusion, see? And look how cool it is. Princess Bruna entered the story to help Pedro to enrich his life, but she has a secret too. She is the daughter of someone who worked for Arthur Brandão many years ago. Does she know anything about his death? Now a special break to send a greeting, a hug, and a thank you to our friends who are always here. Carla Mendez from São Paulo, ArtSP, a history teacher, has been following the channel since August 2024, said that she doesn't miss a single chapter for nothing. You explain everything so well. Rafael Almeida from Belo Horizonte IMG, a computer registered since the first video, commented, "The way they tell the details makes it sound like I'm inside the soap opera." Mariana Costa, from Recife, PE, nutritionist, has followed the channel since January 2025, wrote, "I love it when they bring it backstage. It's the best content there is." Thank you so much to the three of you, and everyone who leaves your comment. You make the world now grow every day. And let's go back. Adriana was so shaken that she almost ran out of the shelter. But Mau Mau appeared and held her. "You won't run away, sis. You deserve to know the whole truth." But do you know what else appeared in this chapter? A hidden clue in Arthur Brando's office. What was that clue and who hid it? I'll tell you everything in the next part, I promise. Part 3, title, The Track No One Saw and the Pilar Silade. Hello again, my faithful people. Here we continue to reveal every detail of today's chapter. Let's talk now about the clue that could change the whole course of the story, and the trap that Pilar prepared to catch Adriana in no way. It all started when Otoniel remembered that Arthur had a secret safe in the mansion's office, and that only he knew the password. But before he died, Arthur wrote a word on a little paper and kept it together with documents. Pillar. Backstage, the team said this lead was put on purpose to show that Arthur already distrusted his own sister. But Pilar found the roll and tried to destroy it. Only they forgot that Arthur had made a copy and given it to a trusted friend, the lawyer Ademir Santana, lived by Dan Stulbach. Ademir put it all away for years and has only given it to Adriana now when she proved she's really investigating. And you know what else was in the safe? A voice recording where Arthur says, "If I die in a strange way, don't let Pilar and Ulysses, her brother, Alexandre Borges, take my fortune. They're capable of everything for money." What a strong thing, right, guys? Now it makes perfect sense why they wanted to frame Adriana. She was the official heiress. If she was convicted, fortune would go back to the family. But Pilar didn't stop. She hatched a plan with security guard Yuri, a young character lived by Jose Loreto, who entered the soap opera at this stage, to place a stolen jewel in Adriana's bag. If they catch her with the jewel, she'll go straight back to prison. But who warned Adriana? Silvana Brandon, Arthur's niece, lived by Belize Pombal. She saw everything hidden and decided to tell the truth, because she never forgot her aunt's evil deeds. Behind the scenes, Belize Pombal said it took a while to decide whether she would tell. The police are afraid of Pilar, but they have a clear conscience. And there's one more bombastic detail. Ulysses Brando is also hiding something. He has huge debts with loan sharks and he needed his brother's inheritance to pay everything. Pilar knew this and used the debt to force him to help with the plan. Now it's hard to know who is the worse of the two, right? People, a quick and very important little thing. Today we have a special goal. We want to reach 10,000 subscribers here in the world now. That's the only goal of today's video, okay? If we succeed, we'll be able to bring you even more details, exclusive backstage, in-depth analysis, and quick information as soon as they come out. Everything for you to stay on top of everything. There are still many missing, but God willing, let's beat that mark. We always follow back who signs up, see? And I already thank from the bottom of my heart who pressed the little button. You guys are amazing. And back to the subject. Adriana will use this clue to call Pilar to talk, but Pilar has an asset that nobody imagines. What will she use to try to defend herself? Find out in the next part. Part 4. Title: The Secrets of the Borders and What Comes This Way. Hi, it didn't go away. Not that there's still a lot of good stuff. Now let's tell everything that happened behind the cameras, secrets that few people know, and how these details appear in today's chapter. First, did you know that the safe track scene took 3 days to record? The set was built just like the original mansion office, with old furniture and objects that have belonged to the set since the beginning of the soap opera. Technicians recounted that every paper, every pen, and every book was carefully placed to keep the story consistent. And Arthur's voice recording was done by Antonio Fagundes, even before starting this new phase. He asked to make his voice calmer, but with a tone of concern as if he were warning of the future. Another detail, Isabel Teixeira, who lives in Pilar, said that at certain times she herself gets angry at the audience. I try to understand what makes her do so much harm, but there comes a time when she's even ashamed to interpret so much evil, she joked backstage. And to make it more convincing, she has studied a lot how people who keep big secrets behave. They avoid eye contact, speak in a firm voice but shake a little in their hands. And that's exactly what we saw in the chapter, when she tried to pretend she didn't know about the safe. And there's more. The new phase of the novel has a 6-year passage of time, so the characters have changed. Adriana's hair is shorter, Pedro wears a fuller beard, and even the mansion has had renovations. Pilar had a lot changed to erase Arthur's memory. But the worst thing is that she has not managed to eradicate some people's conscience. Ingrid Brando, played by Agatha Moreira, is also starting to realize that her aunt lies a lot. And Heitor Brando, Arthur's son, has returned to history, experienced by Renato Goes, and he will investigate on his own. Incredible curiosity. The shelter scenes were recorded in a real space that welcomes homeless families in the Guarulhos region. The residents even participated as extras and said that they were very moved by Adriana's story. It even seems that it is the story of many real people. And now comes the part that everyone is waiting for. What will happen in the next chapter? Adriana will confront Pilar with all the evidence, but Pilar will reveal a secret about Adriana herself that will leave everyone speechless. Is Adriana not who we think she is? Or does she have an even stronger bond with the Brando family? I'll reveal everything in the last part. Don't miss it. Part 5. Title: The Final Revelation and What Will Change Everything. We've reached the end, my people. We'll close it with a golden key and tell you the last big reveal in today's chapter, as well as leave the question to you. Adriana took Pilar to Arthur's tomb, a place where no lie must exist, and showed all the evidence. The tomb, the paper with her name on it, Ulysses' debt, and Silvana's witness. At first, Pilar tried to deny it. He said it was all a lie, but when Adriana said, "Arthur knew you could kill for money," she lost her composure. And she let loose the truth. She didn't kill Arthur directly. But who did? The murderer is someone who worked for him for years, and Pilar threatened to harm family if he didn't stick to the plan. She wanted fortune for herself, and she knew Adriana was the only barrier. But why did she do all this? Because Arthur found out that Pilar had been stealing jewelry from the brand for years, and he was going to report it to the police. Behind the scenes, the team confirmed that this revelation will pave the way for many twists and turns. Pedro will discover that he has been threatened on Pilar's orders, Bruna will help gather more evidence, and Adriana will finally prove her. But there's still a mystery. Who is the person who really killed Arthur? Let's find out in the next chapters. Now the question that doesn't want to remain silent. Do you believe that Pilar will be pressed and for everything he did? Comment down with yes or no. I want to thank from the bottom of my heart everyone who accompanied you here, who left their comment which they shared with friends. Thank you for making the world now grow so much. With your help, we will reach 10,000 subscribers and bring more and more exclusive content. God bless you and see you in the next video.